This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. A detox center to hold highly intoxicated people is expected to open by the end of the month. A new law passed allows people to be held for up to 72 hours. The goal is to divert potentially dangerous people away from hospitals, bus shelters, and Winnipeg streets. But as Felicia Adam reports, some are urging the province to pump the brakes.
In just 2 weeks, this building here at 190 Disraeli Freeway will become a detox detention facility. On Wednesday, a bill passed by the Manitoba government would mean people who are highly intoxicated by drugs like meth can be held up to 72 hours, leaving some with concerns.
72 hours is a very crucial time for your body going into withdrawal. People will die.
It's a position Monica Ballantyne knows all too well. She's struggled with substance abuse in the past and says people will be at risk of drug poisoning once they leave the facility.
And they're going to hide, and they're going to do their substance alone, and they're going to pass away alone. We're going to lose our relatives. And there isn't going to be a way to connect that to this detention center.
She calls it a revolving door, not a solution that gets to the root of the problem.
And after the 72 hours, what's really disheartening is they're going to be put back into homelessness and further traumatizing them.
Manitoba's former chief psychiatrist says people in this state need a doctor first to make sure there are no immediate medical needs.
They can also be at risk for seizures, and I haven't seen anything in the act or in the proposal that indicates people have to have a medical assessment until at least 24 hours after.
The Premier says when it opens, the facility will have 20 spaces, with the potential of adding another 20 early next year.
We're not going to tolerate people who are high on drugs causing chaos in the community. Yes, we're going to get them treatment and health care, but most importantly, we're going to get that situation addressed.
The NDP is defending its decision to move quickly.
Our government is taking action to ensure that our communities are safer and people get the supports that they need.
But not everyone agrees.
The people will be released after 72 hours, and they will literally go maybe next door, maybe a block away, and use. How is that keeping the public safe?
She thinks the money would be better spent creating more voluntary detox spaces. Felicia Adam, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A Norway House man has pleaded guilty to fatally shooting a pregnant woman last November. 23-year-old Raven Crate was found dead in a home in the northern Manitoba Cree Nation. CBC's Josh Crabb joins us now. And Josh, what do we know about Raven Crate?
Brittany, she's being remembered as a sister, daughter, and granddaughter who was full of life, love, and dreams for the child she never got to meet. She was 4.5 months pregnant when she was killed nearly a year ago. Today, the accused took responsibility in her death. 36-year-old Derek Forbister pleaded guilty, admitting to criminal negligence causing death and being in possession of a firearm while prohibited from having one. More than 20 people gathered with signs to call for justice, walking from the band office in Norway House, Cree Nation, to the Kennesaw CP multiplex, where the sentencing hearing was held. Court heard Forbister and Crate, as well as 2 others, were at a home in the First Nation where children were present. According to an agreed statement of facts, Forbister drank a significant amount of alcohol while in possession of a wooden pump-action shotgun and a box of shells. He admitted to loading and unloading it continuously and pulling the trigger. While alone in a room with Crate, court heard Forbister fired the gun in the direction of Crate, who was shot in the head. Her grandmother, Sandra Clark, says Crate was senselessly and cruelly taken from her family.
I am traumatized by Raven's sudden death, and I keep seeing her in her casket holding her precious baby boy, Nathaniel. I couldn't see her face because it was covered over by a cloth, but I could see her little boy in her arms.
In court, Forbister apologized for his, quote, reckless and careless behavior. The Crown told court there was no evidence of intent and is jointly recommending with the defense a 6-year sentence plus an additional 6 months for the possession charge.
So Josh Forbister was initially charged with manslaughter with a firearm. What did the Crown say about the reason for proceeding on a different charge?
The Crown called the criminal negligence causing death with a firearm charge an equivalent charge at law because it carries the same mandatory minimum sentence of 4 years. The prosecutor told court the decision was made after a review of the law and the facts. No date for a sentencing decision has been set, but the case will be back in court November 20th. Brittany.
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Josh Cramp. The city's new parking strategy promises to modernize how Winnipeg manages its curbs. But not everyone in the downtown is convinced it's heading in the right direction. Business groups say some parts of the plan could work against itself. CBC's Cameron McLean has more.
Business groups in Winnipeg's downtown say they're relieved the city finally has a comprehensive parking plan, but parts of it don't make sense. Exchange District Biz Executive Director David Pensato points to a pilot project that he says already goes against the city's stated goals. Beginning on October 1st, the city launched a pilot that extended the time limit on blocks near Red River College and the Centennial Concert Hall from 2 hours to 3. Pensato says while the pilot may help students and arts patrons, it also makes it easier for commuters to park on the street all day.
That defeats the purpose of on-street parking, which is to paid parking, which is to encourage turnover and to not have employees taking up the spots all day long.
The plan also calls for city staff to consider expanding paid parking into the evening and on weekends, something downtown business leaders warned could spark a revolt. Kate Fensky of the Downtown Biz warned councillors not to move ahead with any plan to extend paid parking into the evenings unless it's expanded into other busy business areas first.
When we look at where paid parking is in our city, it is the bulk of downtown, also around hospitals. But that can be a deterrent sometimes for people supporting the businesses here.
Fensky would also like to see the city reinvest portions of parking revenue back into the areas where it's collected. Public Works Committee Chair Janice Luke says she supports the broader strategy and agrees the city needs to study where paid parking should go next.
If you're going to put parking meters on Corridon, or if you're going to put them on Centre Street in areas that have never had it before, I think a bit of a carrot and a stick approach, maybe a percentage of the revenue does go to improving the areas.
The parking strategy still needs council approval. City staff will spend the next few years gathering data and doing consultations before deciding whether extended hours or expanded paid parking makes sense. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
What's being called a significant amount of cocaine has been seized at the Thompson Airport. RCMP say they were called about a suspicious package that was set to be shipped to Bunabonabee Cree Nation. It was searched, and Mounties found a TV with 4 tightly wrapped packages inside. They found 446 grams of cocaine with a street value of more than $222,000. A 55-year-old woman from that community has been arrested and charged with possession for the purpose of trafficking. Hundreds of students gathered at Brandon Cemetery Cenotaph today to honor veterans and fallen soldiers. They took part in the No Stone Left Alone, an event honoring and remembering Canada's veterans. The event helps students better understand and appreciate the sacrifices made by those who serve in the military. One grade 6 Navy cadet says laying a wreath and being a part of this helps her feel closer to Canadian soldiers.
It made me also feel happy and joyful that these people did these things for us and helped us be who we are right now.
Brandon's official Remembrance Day ceremony will be at the Keystone Centre on Tuesday. All right, let's bring in weather specialist Riley Lachak. And Riley, I took a look outside just before we popped on here. Another wet afternoon. I shouldn't say another, a wet afternoon. And do we still have that chance of some snow coming?
You know what? We've started to see that transition actually happening earlier in the day, even, Brittany, back into western Manitoba. Poor road conditions around Dauphin into the parkland through the afternoon hours. I've seen some pictures on social media showing some pretty dicey road conditions in and around Dauphin this afternoon. In Winnipeg, as expected, this has started as a rain event. Likely, as we see temperatures dropping into the overnight hours, we'll see some of this transitioning over into some wet flurries. Not expecting any major accumulations because the ground is also still quite warm. So a lot of this melting on contact, but just letting you know that we are looking at the potential for some flurries, particularly into the Interlake as we head into the overnight hours tonight. So overnight tonight, temperature around -1. We will continue to see that falling as we get into the morning as a cold front pushes a little bit further south. So -4 by the morning, still a lingering chance of flurries with a gusty northeasterly wind up to 50 and into the afternoon tomorrow. Temperature really doesn't go anywhere, around -3, -4 tomorrow afternoon, Brittany. By afternoon, we should start to get some sunny breaks back into the Red River Valley.
Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
There's Flin, Flon, Manitoba, and then there's Flin, Flon, Saskatchewan. This city falls in 2 provinces. I'm Rosanna Hempel, and coming up, we'll bring you more on the benefits and challenges that make this part of town unique.
When you ask people from Flin Flon what province they live in, you might get two different answers. That's because the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border cuts right through one part of town. For years, people on the Saskatchewan side have been caught in the crosshairs of jurisdictional confusion. CBC is in the northern city as part of our Communities in Focus initiative, and Rosanna Hempel has more on the tale of two cities.
This is Flin Flon, Manitoba. And this is Flin Flon, Saskatchewan. It's one city in two provinces. More than 200 households live in the Saskatchewan end of town. Locally, it's got a few different names.
I call it no man's land.
I always use the word in between.
This is Mark Titoff. He's lived in Flin Flon, Saskatchewan for about 30 years. He has a Saskatchewan driver's license and health card. But he also has a Manitoba postal code, gets cheaper electricity through Manitoba Hydro, and pays municipal taxes to the city of Flin Flon. It all feels like one community, one city. Well, most of the time.
It's the little glitches that arise.
Like the time his family was denied financing for a new car because their Saskatchewan licenses and Manitoba postal code didn't match.
They question us. How you have a health card and a driver's license, but you're Manitoba. No, we're not Manitoba residents, we're Manitoba mailing. And then they ask too many more questions, and then you get you lose your patience after a while.
If you're driving or walking by, you might not notice anything different on the Saskatchewan side until you look a little closer and see those Saskatchewan license plates. Some residents, though, say they felt the border, especially during the month-long wildfire evacuation this spring. Guy Rideout says it was hard to get help from either province because at first, neither would claim responsibility for them. In the end, he got benefits through the Canadian Red Cross in Manitoba.
It was a gong show. It was very, very annoying, and it was about a week before we got home I finally got some assistance.
The city of Flin Flon, too, was looking for more funding from the Saskatchewan government for infrastructure and services that people on both sides of the border use, including those in nearby Creighton and Denair Beach, Saskatchewan.
You're using our services. We're a border community. It's not unlike how the deal that you have on the Lloydminster side, except on that side you're providing services to someone else. Here we are, and we need some help with that.
As for Mark Titoff, he's never considered leaving this neighborhood, despite the odd confusion or frustration.
I wouldn't move. This is my home. It's a close-knit community.
His backyard view overlooks both Flin Flon, Manitoba and Flin Flon, Saskatchewan. He hopes everyone sees there's two of them. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Flin Flon, Saskatchewan.
While athletes in the Winnipeg High School Football League suit up for the playoffs this week, another group of students are working behind the scenes to broadcast the games. The broadcast media program at the Louis Riel Arts and Technology Centre runs LRSD TV, and it runs on student power, from camera to production and everything in between. CBC's Mike Arsenault explains.
Go, 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 go! On the field, two high school football teams are battling it out to see who will come away with the championship. But up in the broadcast booth, these seniors are working hard to bring the action live to YouTube. This is the LRSD TV crew, a group of students learning about the TV industry with hands-on experience.
We have 5 cameras going on. We have 2 hosts, directors, just like a regular production would have.
Ioma Obono is the on-air host for the game. She starts the live broadcast, interviews the players and the coaches.
Regular high school, you're at a table all day, laptop, books, pencil, whatever. This is more hands-on. You get to go places, put yourself out there, do stuff with your hands, do stuff that would actually help you out in the future.
The LRSD TV program is run out of the Louis Riel Arts and Technology Centre. The broadcast media program teaches students about production for a variety of media, including radio, TV, and the internet.
Ready, replay, take replay.
Once they graduate, people like Daniel Selman will have the tools they need to find work in the broadcasting industry.
I want to be a part of live productions, so setting up LED screens or even doing audio visuals for like weddings or galas and stuff like that.
In the end zone, Praise Oliwala is making sure the audience doesn't miss any of the action. She was always interested in working with cameras and transferred to the ATC program from her previous high school.
I did not know what I wanted to do. I've been here and there, but coming here, I've really been able to actually figure out what I really, really want to do in life, especially with broadcasting.
Back in the booth, Graham Parsons is helping the young hopefuls with the broadcast. He knows firsthand the benefits of the program. He graduated in 2018, and it led to a career in the industry.
It started as a Bisons, and then I got more involved in the Bombers side of things, and then eventually moved on to TSN and Dome Productions.
Parsons says the program laid the groundwork for the career he's in now, and these future broadcasters are hoping it will do the same for them. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Love to see that, some future rising stars and maybe some of our future colleagues there, Riley.
Yeah, no kidding. Wouldn't that be nice?
Right?
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about snow. I know I was trying to delay it a little bit there because, yeah, it's happening across southern Manitoba right now. Actually, a bit later than expected in the Red River Valley into parts of the Inner Lake. That's because this area of low pressure tracked a little bit further north throughout the day. So it kept places like the Parkland into the Duck Mountains, into the Swan Valley, for example, into a little bit more of a snow event today, whereas that rain held off here in the Red River Valley, but certainly we did see some of that into the northern Interlake as well. So, I mean, pretty close to what was forecast, just a little bit delayed, at least here in Winnipeg. As we get through the overnight hours, we are looking at things starting to taper off by the time we get into the night tonight, although I do think that we will still see at least a few flurries here in the southeastern part of the province, into the southwestern part of the province, though still into some light snow into the overnight hours. This is really being hurried along by high pressure developing to the north here, and this is really going to help clear skies overnight tonight, but also drop temperatures into the overnight hours. So by the time we get to the morning, I think first thing around 6, 7 o'clock, we do still have the chance of a few lingering showers or flurries in Winnipeg, for example, and into northwestern Ontario. Got to get my lingo right with that temperature changing here, but clear skies to the west and the north with that high pressure, and that also will tank temperatures as we get through the day tomorrow. Still a few leftover clouds into the afternoon hours, and with a northwesterly flow, maybe a few lake effect flurries off the large lakes here as we get Friday into Saturday. The next system is this one into northern Manitoba. This looking like it could bring a few centimeters of snow, even some pockets of higher accumulation into parts of northeastern Manitoba here along the Hudson Bay coast. I think these numbers are a bit exaggerated, but you get the idea. We're looking at some snow into parts of northern Manitoba. Still to come, maybe a couple centimeters or so as we get through the next bit here. Trace to a couple centimeters into northwestern Ontario, but what you're going to notice as we get into the night tonight is a bit of wind starting to kick up. This is 5 o'clock in the morning on Friday, looking at north winds 20 gusting to 40. Could see some gusts along the Hudson Bay coast, though, up to 70 plus as we get through the morning hours tomorrow. And that wind along the Hudson Bay coast keeps in place right as we get into the weekend here. So we are looking at a bit of a messy weekend for Churchill and Shamattawa, for example. First thing in the morning, you can really see how that high pressure has cleared us out and dropped our temperatures. -9 in Swan River first thing, -13 in Thompson, Gillam at -10. We're around -4 in Winnipeg tomorrow, -2 for Saturday, maybe a few scattered lake effect flurries, and then temperatures rebounding slightly into Sunday.
All right. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
We have much more to come right after the break. Stay with us. The latest legislative session in Manitoba came to a close today. The CBC's Bryce Hoy was there as MLAs prepared for final votes on several bills. So Bryce, what priorities were on the docket today as members prepared for their break?
Well, Brittany, there are 5 holdover pieces of legislation from the spring session. Now, MLAs had to vote on them by the end of today. Now, one would usher in tax changes, and another concerns election disinformation. Now, that one would impose $20,000 fines on those pushing false portrayals of political candidates. That's meant to target disinformation like deepfake videos created using AI. Now, the bill would also come with penalties for those deliberately spreading misleading information.
Manitobans and Canadians, I would submit, take great pride in our democracy, and we take great pride in the ability to participate in our elections in a fair and good and equitable way. And that piece of legislation just further strengthens that.
The NDP says that bill and 4 others from spring will become law after a final vote tonight.
So Bryce, what more can you tell me about the NDP announcement today saying they could kickstart more rental builds?
Brittany, this was previously announced in Budget 2024, but now the incentives are accessible. This $176 million fund will provide builders of rental units with tax incentives. Now, Housing Minister Bernadette Smith says developers will get $8,500 in tax breaks for each regular rental unit that they get on the market. Now, that's going to jump to over $13,000 for affordable housing units.
There's a need right across our province. So we've had several applications, actually, in fact, hundreds come into our department. And we're going to continue to work with developers, nonprofits, First Nations, and get as much housing built in our province as possible.
Housing critic Jeff Bariza raised concerns. He says some developers who take the incentive would have to get permission from the province if they ever want to sell. Bariza argues that could discourage developers. Brittany.
All right, thank you. That's CBC's Bryce Hoy. American businesses are feeling the pinch as Canadians continue to avoid cross-border shopping trips and travel. The owner of an East Grand Forks business says the drop in the amount of Canadian travelers stopping in at his restaurant and other businesses has been significant. He says it's impacting their bottom lines, and they hope to see travelers from north of the border come back soon.
I get really excited when we have a Canadian because I feel like we haven't seen them a lot. So I try to make a point to tell them that we want them to keep coming back and bring their friends because that's a huge part of our business is Canadians traveling down. So yeah, we miss it.
According to Statistics Canada, Canadian resident return trips from the U.S. were down nearly 30% in August this year compared to August 2024. Donald Trump's repeated calls for Canada to become a 51st state struck a nerve with many Canadians who've chosen to boycott travel to the U.S. Some people in Winnipeg say they no longer feel comfortable traveling to the States.
I feel safer being in Canada than being in the United States right now.
Just because of the politics there, it's really scary because me as a minority, I feel like I can be arrested anytime and then disappear.
Financial constraints along with the unfavorable exchange rate are also contributing to the reduction in Canadians heading south. It was an evening of drama on Parliament Hill. Mark Carney's Liberal government survived the first of 3 confidence votes connected to the federal budget.
I declare the sub-amendment defeated.
MPs voted this evening on a Conservative sub-amendment to the budget, saying it is unaffordable and the deficit is too high. But Bloc and NDP members voted with the Liberals, and the Tory motion was defeated. And in another blow to the Conservatives, one of their MPs, Matt Genereux from Edmonton, announced his resignation from Parliament. The decision comes as rumors swirled he was considering crossing the floor to the Liberal Party. Genereux says he ran in the last election hopeful that Canadians would put their faith in a team led by Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives, but the outcome wasn't what he anticipated. On Tuesday, Nova Scotia MP Chris D'Entremont left the Conservative Party and joined the Liberals. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency is at a farm in BC, preparing to kill more than 300 ostriches at the centre of a months-long legal battle. The Supreme Court of Canada said it would not hear an appeal that might have stopped the cull. Authorities say it's necessary to stop the spread of bird flu, which killed 69 ostriches in the flock last year. But the farm's owners and their supporters say the flock now appears healthy and are demanding a reprieve. The CBC's Caroline Bargut has been on the scene.
There are about 75 or 80 supporters here at Universal Ostrich Farms. A little while ago, they came here to the road. As you can see, there are dozens of cars lined across the road. They're playing music, they're praying, they are supporting the farmers here in hopes that the CFIA, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, will decide not to cull the ostriches. But it appears that cull may be happening. A little while ago, we saw CFIA agents dressed in hazmat suits in these pens where there is about 300 ostriches gathered. They were trying to corral them. It looked like with orange fencing, trying to move them to one area. Now, the CFIA said today that the cull will move forward. They have not given any indication of when that will happen or how it will happen. But based on the supporters here and what we are seeing on the ground, it appears that this cull may be taking place right now. We spoke to Katie Pasitny. She is the daughter of one of the owners of this farm. Earlier today, when she heard the news that the Supreme Court would not be taking on this case, she was obviously very upset. Here's what she had to say.
Our family's going to lose everything today, and in 41 minutes they made that decision. In 41 minutes, 11 months ago, they've had 11 months to do the right thing. In 11 months, 41 minutes with a pen, they signed away over 300 lives.
The CFIA has a stamping out policy. That means if one bird in a flock of 100, say even 1,000 has avian flu, the policy is to cull the rest of that flock. The purpose is to stamp out or stop the spread of avian flu. In recent years here in British Columbia, 8.8 million birds have died or have been killed, or culled, I should say, because they had avian flu. And the CFIA is hoping to prevent that. Caroline Bargut, CBC News, near Edgewood.
A former grade 8 teacher in Ontario has pleaded guilty to child sex charges. It's a case that sent shockwaves through a small town because the victims were her students at the time. Thomas Dagg reports, but a warning, some of the details are graphic and maybe disturbing.
Grade 8 teacher Kellyanne Jennings left the courthouse today more than a year after sexual misconduct allegations began to surface. She stood in the courtroom and simply said guilty when the judge asked how she would be pleading, responding to 6 criminal charges, including child luring and making child pornography. She faced a dozen other charges, including sexual assault, but those charges have been stayed at the request of the Crown. Several police officers showed up at her home in Peterborough last year to arrest her. Now, according to an agreed statement of facts read in court, Jennings had been the grade 8 teacher for the 3 boys listed as victims in this case. She had been drinking when she began to send them increasingly explicit pictures and videos through Snapchat. She also asked for them to send nude pictures of themselves, which they did. The identities of the 3 boys are covered by a publication ban, as is the name of the school in Port Hope, Ontario, where they were students and she was their teacher. In a victim impact statement, the mother of one of the boys said, "My son looked up to her as a second mother, someone who truly cared about him," describing Jennings' actions as predatory, manipulative, and deeply harmful. Crown Attorney Julianne Barrett said the boys were manipulated by Jennings and used for her own selfish sexual needs. The Crown is recommending a 4-year prison sentence, while Jennings' defense lawyer is asking for a 2-year conditional sentence, so no jail time, followed by probation. The judge is expected to hand down his sentence later this month. Thomas Dagg, CBC News, Peterborough, Ontario.
A new report from France's state auditors gives a scathing assessment of how the world-renowned Louvre Museum is run. Findings from the 10-year audit drawn up prior to last month's daring jewel heist claim the museum prioritized expanding its art collection over spending money on security. CBC's Anna Cunningham reports from London.
The The Louvre is home to Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa painting, amongst other famed works of art. It is the world's most visited museum, but this audit report reveals that last year only 39% of the museum's rooms actually had security cameras. They started the audit back in 2015, and it says it will take years to achieve the recommended upgrades. The extraordinary heist that took place last month in broad daylight has been described by the head of France's state auditor as a deafening wake-up call. He says the pace of those security upgrades at the Paris Museum is wholly inadequate. And there are reports that the Louvre's security password was Louvre in capitals. Robbers brazenly used a stolen truck with an extendable ladder and a freight lift to reach that first floor window of the museum's Apollo Gallery. They then escaped with jewels worth $143 million. This audit report says that the Louvre does have money for improvements in security, but instead the museum has excessively spent on new artworks, with only a quarter of them on public view. The report recommends a drop in the number of art acquisitions and also an increase in ticket prices, as well as a refurbishment to the Louvre's digital infrastructure and governance. French police have charged 4 suspects in connection with the museum theft, but investigators are yet to locate the treasures stolen. Anna Cunningham, CBC News, London.
It's now being considered one of the largest population genomic studies in Canada. We'll find out how this could potentially help delay, reduce, or prevent cancer and heart disease. More on that after the break. Ontario cancer patients will be among the first participants in one of the biggest ever genetic health study in Canada. Over the next several years, tens of thousands of people will get genomic testing. It will screen participants for genetic mutations that could increase their risks for hereditary cancers, heart attacks, or strokes. The CBC's Jennifer Yoon has the story.
Our bodies contain thousands of genes. Some mutations put us at higher risk of cancers and heart disease, but many of us don't know it.
I had no clue. There was no strong, immediate history of cancer in my family.
Like Leslie Bourne, who didn't know a genetic mutation in the BRCA2 gene put her at higher risk of ovarian cancer until after she was diagnosed.
I don't have a lot of regrets in my life, but that is the one piece of information or thing I wish I had known.
Now, researchers are amping up genomic testing in Ontario, screening 100,000 people over the next 5 years. They'll be testing for 3 genetic conditions: mutations in the BRCA gene associated with breast and ovarian cancer, Lynch syndrome associated with colorectal cancer, and familial hypercholesterolemia, which often has no symptoms until a heart attack or stroke. The goal is to expand testing to broader populations, starting with cancer patients at the Princess Margaret Cancer Centre.
And knowing their genetic makeup helps them to see if we have to be concerned of any other cancer, but also importantly identifies their family members that would be at risk.
Data from the study could help researchers see if the benefits of the genomic testing outweigh the costs.
The studies that need to be shown that it's proven to benefit as many people as possible.
Our traditional methods of referral of high-risk families are definitely missing the majority of at-risk individuals.
More genetic tests would help, no question, says this genetic counselor. But that takes a lot of people, and expanding screening will require more investment.
Genetics is a freckle in the healthcare system.
But the knowledge can also be life-changing for patients.
I'm not sitting in the dark anymore.
Like for Leslie Bourne, she's now getting screened more often and living cancer-free. Jennifer Yoon, CBC News, Toronto.
School food programs received a significant boost in the federal budget, but advocates say that funding has a lot of ground to make up. The CBC's Deanna Suminick-Johnson looks at what's in the budget and at what the food programs are offering right now.
For these kids, the federal budget includes a promise to increase funding for school food programs and make it permanent starting in 2029.
Budget 2025 really confirmed a historical commitment.
The current federal funding program started in 2024, allocating $1 billion over 5 years to programs across Canada, many run by local charities. But depending on where you live, that money may not have come through.
So to be honest, we are still waiting to get our funding, portion being increased. This community is underserved, low-income families, newcomer families. A lot of the schools, do reach out to us, want to start an after-school or breakfast club program.
Experts say how the money gets doled out varies on the size of the province, the number of school boards, and also how much money the province adds to the mix. In provinces like Newfoundland, the federal bucks have been a real boon. Before Ottawa's program, they could reach 20,000 students. Now,
as the program continues to roll out, we anticipate reaching approximately half of the 63,000 students in this current school year.
the types of meals schools serve also vary. In some places, it's a hot lunch. In others, fruit and yogurt snacks.
So I would encourage, increase investment across all levels of government so that kids can more equally access school meal programs and eventually get to that robust lunch program.
She would also like to see the annual federal investment almost double to reach each and every child in Canada. As of now, the federal government is investing over $1 million in grants to study how school food programs actually work and where they fall short. Deanna Suminick-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
People in Vietnam are taking cover as a powerful typhoon takes aim at the country. Huge waves have been seen on the coastline. It's expected to threaten Vietnamese provinces well inland as well. The typhoon is already blamed for well over 100 deaths in the Philippines. Many more people are still missing. All right, time to bring Riley back in now. Riley, we started seeing that rain here in Winnipeg this afternoon, and as you said, some places already seeing a little bit of that snow mix too.
Yeah, and that will continue, Brittany, west to east as we get through the night. I'm going to quickly correct the long-range forecast here because you probably saw a 9 and thought, gee, that's a little bit too good to be true. Well, you know, my fingers are a little bit big, my keyboard's itty-bitty. I should have been a 0, so I am sorry to get your hopes up. Still, though, pretty nice, sunny day. Okay, let's take a look at your dog walking forecast. We'll do the full 7-day in a bit here. This one's a little bit special. If you heard that dog barking just now, well, you know what? Time to introduce you to that dog that barks every night for us. That would be Carly, whose owner is Jeff, who's in our control room tonight in Winnipeg. So thank you, Jeff, for this picture, and thank you for Carly's bark, because we certainly enjoy it. Okay, in the mornings, around -4, prepare for a bit of wind, maybe a few stray flurries first thing in the morning. Temperature really doesn't go anywhere throughout the day. I mean, maybe we pop up to -3 or -2, but generally speaking, temperature stays pretty steady as we head into the afternoon hours tomorrow, and a partly cloudy sky by the time we get to the evening. This does set us up for a bit of sunshine as we get into the day on I guess Saturday, that would be. Let's take a live look outside right now before we get to the provincial temperatures at the moment, where we can see that transition over to some snowfall has started over the city of Winnipeg right now. Right now, the temperature at 0 in the city, 0 in Dauphin, 0 in Swan River, Thompson at -15 at the moment, -8 in Churchill. Okay, let's take a look at your temperatures through the overnight hours tonight, at least. We are looking at -3 in Winnipeg overnight tonight. Again, that transition happening over to some snowfall as we get into the evening hours tonight. -6 in Pinawa, -5 in Verdun, Dauphin at -8, -11 in Swan River through the overnight hours. -13s in the Pas, Flin, Flon, OCN, Thompson. These are temperatures that are below seasonal for this time of the year, all thanks to that Arctic ridge that has started to build into parts of northern and central Manitoba as we get through the night tonight. And we'll look at that making its way a bit further south as we get into the day on Friday. So by the afternoon tomorrow, by noon, looking at temperatures still at -10 through Flin Flon, Lynn Lake, Thompson, Gillam, Island Lake, -2 in Churchill. Into the afternoon, temperatures barely getting out of that -10 territory, -9 in Lynn Lake by the afternoon. Still a bit of cloud cover left over, maybe a couple of stray flurries out of some of this through the early morning especially. Then we get into some clearing, and we're at -6 by lunchtime in Wasagaming, Eriksdale, Dauphin, -4. And then by the afternoon, a bit of sunshine helps us pop back up closer to the freezing mark. Your 7-day is coming up.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
The Canadian version of a unique interview series is making its debut on CBC television. Some Canadian celebrities will be interviewed by people on the autism spectrum. It's called The Assembly, and Magda Gebrselassie looks at what drives it.
Welcome to The Assembly.
It's the show that promises no question is off limits. In the hot seat, Canadian celebrities like musician Jan Arden, comedian Howie Mandel, and actor Maitreyi Ramakrishnan. On the mic, interviewers who are on the autism spectrum.
Do you love yourself?
What led you to have an affair?
Oh!
What is your biggest insecurity?
For Margot Wask, the show is groundbreaking.
I want to ensure that when autism is spoken about or represented in media, that we're consulted with. I think this show really sets the precedent of what that can look like.
But at first, Wask was hesitant about taking part. It had to do with autistic representation on other shows, like the dating series Love on the Spectrum.
It can be very infantilizing.
That show, a success for Netflix, has received mixed reviews, much like The Assembly's many versions around the world.
I do feel in its presentation it can be a little tokenized in terms of we have no filter.
Sarah Kerchik is a culture writer who is autistic. She's written about representation on fictional shows like The Good Doctor and programs featuring real people too. While she's happy autistic and neurodivergent people are being centered, she worries about how some audiences will react.
You see the viral clips that are passed around are always like, oh, it's so sweet, it's so heartwarming. But there is more to our experience than that.
Expanding the audience's understanding is a goal for the show, too.
Because it's a great show and a great interview, not a great interview by autistic and neurodivergent folks, but just simply a great interview.
Wask is pleased with her experience and is keeping in mind reactions to the other shows.
You're never going to be able to please 100% of people with your approach.
But she says you can do your best. Magda Gebrselassie, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, it could have been an episode of Gourds Gone Wild. Coming up, a family's fight to save a Halloween decoration and the neighborhood. Plus, Riley's back with the last check on our forecast. Stay with us. CBC Morning Live host Heather Hiscock said farewell to viewers today. She's handing the baton to a new host, and he's someone you'll recognize.
Because I'd like you to welcome the next host of CBC Morning Live, David Common.
David Common will be taking over. Born in Winnipeg, David is the host of Metro Morning on CBC Radio in Toronto. He's also a senior correspondent for CBC News. He began his career at the network in 1999.
Quick look at radar imagery, and you can see that transition over to some snow has happened in the Red River Valley, at least into the southern Interlake. And we can see that on our live camera just outside of our building right now. You can see it's wet, sloppy out there. We're in for a bit of snow as we head through the evening hours here. Look at your 7-day forecast really quickly right now. Looking at temperature around -4 as we head into the day on Friday, 0. Sunshine into the day on Sunday. Monday, 0 under a partly cloudy sky. Maybe a couple of stray showers. Brittany, as we get through the day on Tuesday, and temperatures staying close to 3 degrees as we get to the middle of next week.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
A gourd gone rogue. A 20-foot inflatable pumpkin became a family's Halloween nightmare during a windy afternoon. The chaos caught on their doorbell cam is tonight's Daily Lift.
The one big gust of wind kind of sent it rolling. I ran outside. It's a 20-foot pumpkin. It's bigger than our house. Every time the wind would hit it, it would just blow back up again, and it was taking me on a ride. The struggle went on for over 12 minutes. My husband kept calling over the Ring app, and he was like, "Go help mom." And then I'm like, "No, don't help mom."
It's Dad, can you hear me? Hey, buddy, unplug it.
They're only little. I was concerned. My youngest, he tries to call 911, but he doesn't know how to use the phone. He throws it onto the pavement. My phone is cracked. The minutes that went down was absolute chaos. I just kept trying to laugh about it, but keep him back. I was finally able to get it deflated, and that's when they were like, "Okay, let me take your picture."
God, let me just take a picture of you for one minute.
Kick them while they're down, right? I just threw it into the garage. I was done with it. I defeated it. You got to do what you got to do to keep the pumpkin and the neighborhood safe.
Oh my goodness, all of the emotions from calling 911 to say, we got to get a picture of this. Love it. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.